there's Jira boards. They're pulling things out, packaged inside of the Jira realm, and making it visual, making it easier to see. Let's dive deep into Jira board today. And meanwhile, I'm gonna go get some wine.
So today we're going to talk about boards. What are boards? I think sometimes you refer to as Kanban, Scrum boards. I'm calling a visualization board. Really, where you can visualize the team's work on the day-to-day and the movement of them. And so you can see here how to get to it within your team managed project. Remember, this is specific to team managed. Company enterprise managed projects are a little bit different when you talk about boards and how to modify or customize it. So really important, this is a team managed board. And remember, for some of these options to customize it, you're gonna need to have administrative rights to this project in order to do this. To get to it, there's like a 3-columned looking icon in board. We're gonna click on that. It's gonna show you something that looks like this. And so the first portion of it I wanna show you is the top left. There's a search bar. You can search by keywords, Scrum Master. Maybe you want to find something in particular. Some of these can be a little bit more lengthier depending on how long your sprints are, how big your teams are. You also can filter by different assignees. There's different people within these projects you can filter by. There's also epics. You can also filter by epics here, showing only items within that epic. Over on the left-hand side here, there's also more group by, so assignee, by epic, by subtask. There's some insights here you can bring in. Hey, what does it look like? What does your sprint progress look like? What is your sprint burn down? So something that maybe a Scrum Master would more be relevant for, but really, really good to check out these out of the box metrics. And so really here, there's also some, you can favorite it. There's also some automation we're not going to talk about on this video, but really going back to what, the workflow, right? To do, in progress, done. This is the workflow, default workflow for this project. And so this is what it's displaying. And what I want to go here, I want to go more in detail of is the how to modify this. So if you go to this configure board here, this little icon, cogwheel icon, you also could go to this option over here on the right hand corner and go configure board. Also get some other options that are displayed on here as well. So like the sprint that's currently occurring. Hey, maybe you want to change the workflow. Manage custom filters, so maybe you want to put your own filters. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to put configure board for this time around. And you're going to get a screen that looks like this. Okay. So remember, you have to be an administrator for the project in order to have this view and make these modifications. You can see here's the board. These are the statuses for these issue types. You can click here to manage the workflow of that if you want to edit it. I've already created a workflow status, to-do status. It's in the gray here that I covered in another video. So if you haven't done this, go to check out the workflow video. So you can see it's unassigned status because I haven't assigned it to the board yet. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna add that here. So what we're gonna do is gonna go backlog. You can see I added a column here, and then I'm gonna move this into backlog. Perfect. So now I have another status on this board, and I'm gonna actually move it over here. I think it's more relevant. I'm gonna save changes. So it says, hey, you gotta edit these changes. Yep, I'm okay with these changes. And so you're gonna see here that should edit the board, and we'll go back to that in a little bit. Let's go to custom filters. So this is another portion here. We talked about filters, so you can add custom filters. If you know JQuil, this is where it would come in handy. You can put any filters you want. So hey, maybe you want to filter by different issue types. Maybe you want to filter by different types of work. And so depending on what your work looks like, you can modify it here. It'll display at the top. So I'm gonna go just a test filter, just so you can see what it looks like. I'm gonna create this. It might give me an error. Let's go with actual end equals empty create. Perfect. Now my custom filter. So let's go back to the board. Let's go see what I've done here. So first things first, got my backlog, perfect. added on here, custom filters. Now I have my test filter as well. And so going back to what works for you. For me, this is the best starting discussion with my team. How does that work flowing going from start to finish? Also, if things are there's bottlenecks, you also can set a column limit. So maybe just one. Maybe you only can have one in this column, WIP limits. So when you bring other issues into here, you can see automatically flagged. So you can ask, hey, what's going on here? Again, those are different WIP limits. But for you, you got to make what works best for you. You know, do you need a backlog? Do you need it in review? How do you want to visualize that work and have those starting discussions with your team? And this is where it starts, right? At the daily stand-up. And this is where usually this comes up, to review this board and making sure that things are flowing through the process and they're getting complete by that time box, or hey, by that milestone. So I want to hear from all of you of what types of boards and customizations you do for your team that has been valuable. So please leave it in the comments below. Love to discuss and see what's going on with other people's organizations.